Hi, Marianne Croce here from Small Biz Vantage and the creator of 3 Day Weekend System. I'm glad to be here each and every week. I do these lives and I call them Auto Shop Success in 15 minutes. And I do them for a couple of reasons. The first reason is for you to be able to shift your perspective, your vantage, if you will, the way you look at your business and take 15 minutes a week to really look at it from that 30,000-foot view. I find that many shop owners are so caught up in the day to day that it's hard for them to do that. So 15 minutes a week on a regular basis is really a great investment of your time for your business, yourself, your team, and even your customers. And when I speak of owner overload, I want to let you know that I actually have a free download. It's a check that you can go in and see where your business is overloading you. So the QR code is up here in the corner. But the second reason I do this is the magic is in the doing, right? When we want to make small changes and be consistent, the magic is in the doing. So you can listen to me, you can listen to someone else. There's lots of information out there. Read a book, listen to a podcast, but the magic is in the doing. Whatever information you take in, make sure you're taking action. So each and every week, I give you an action item so that you can actually implement. And the most common question I get asked from people is, Marianne, who do you work with? So I am a shop owner myself. I've been one since 1999. So I get it, right? I've been through the trenches. I understand. And I still own a shop. And I also do speaking and coaching. And I primarily work with single location auto shops. And I work with them because they feel like they are being consumed by doing it all. And they come to me when they really want to have a life as well as a business that is profitable, sustainable, and enjoyable. So they don't want to have a life but sacrifice their business. They want both. And you can do that. It is doable. So this week's topic is one number, one decision. And I want to be really clear on this because financial clarity does not come from looking at every single number. Because numbers, and when it comes to the financials, a lot of shop owners say to me, it's not something that they're familiar with. So I want you to know that it doesn't come from looking at every number. It comes from using the right number to make the next decision. So today I want to talk about a simple way to turn financial clarity into action. Remember, I said the action, right? The results, the magic is in the doing, taking that action. So one number, one decision. If you're here live or you're here on the replay, I'm glad that you're here. If you have any questions or you want to chime in, you have comments, put them out there. I will respond to all of them. So I'm really glad that you're here. So this month, I've been talking about financial clarity as a leadership tool, not accounting, not bookkeeping, not looking at reports, just to say that you looked at them. Financial clarity helps you lead because your numbers are signals. They show you where something may need your attention. So that's what they're actually doing. So, but this is where many owners get stuck. They look at reports and they see too much at once. And I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you a list of the common things that people will tell me. They're looking at sales, gross profit, labor sales, parts margin, car count, average repair order or ARO, billed hours, expenses, cash, net profit, and it can make your head spin. And when every single number feels important, because they are important, but when every one of them seems that it's important in that moment, it becomes hard to decide where do you start. So this week is not about looking at everything. It's about choosing one number and using it to lead one better decision. That's the whole goal here, right? So I want to go over a few points with you. I want to actually go over 4 of them. So the first one is more information can create more overload. A lot of shop owners already have access to information. They have the information. They have their shop management software. They have QuickBooks. They have bank statements. They may have reports from a bookkeeper or an accountant. So they have the information. The problem is not always lack of information. The problem is that the information doesn't always turn into a decision. Does that resonate with anyone? Let me know. Looking at numbers is not the same as leading from the numbers. So when you look at too many things at once, you may see several issues. So it's important. It's important not to do that. The several issues are sales are not where you want them to be. Gross profit is lower than it should be. Labor sales may be soft. Cash feels tight. You're wondering where the cash is. Expenses are creeping up. The team is busy, but the profit is not showing up. And that can create more overload. So instead of trying to solve everything, narrow your focus. Ask yourself, which is the one number that needs my attention this week? Not forever, not for the whole year, but this week. What do you need to tackle? The second point I want to make is the number is the signal, but it's not the whole answer. So the number tells you that something is happening, but it doesn't always tell you why. And that's where we have to go in and we have to dig deeper, right? We have to do a deeper dive. Just like when a vehicle comes into your shop, it needs to be diagnosed so that we go to the root cause. So let me give you some examples here. If labor sales are low, that's a signal, but the cause could be several things. Maybe there was not enough work actually scheduled. Maybe inspections were not completed. Maybe the work was found but not presented clearly. Maybe the service advisor is not confident having the conversation. Maybe technicians were busy but not on billable work. Were they getting pulled off? Maybe jobs were waiting on parts. Maybe completed work was not billed correctly. And maybe workflow that kept breaking down. So when you think about it, it doesn't mean that it's just one issue. It's very clear cut. We have to go in and we have to see what the root cause of that is. If the labor sales are low in this example. So the numbers get your attention, but leadership finds the cause. Like I said, we got to get to that root cause. That is why I do not want owners to look at a number and immediately blame the person closest to it, because you can be blaming something that really isn't true, or a person that isn't true, isn't causing it. Or a role that isn't causing it. So a better question to ask is, what activity, what process, behavior, or standard is creating this result? And that question moves you from reacting to leading. Now, the third point is the number must lead to a decision. So once you choose that number, the next question is, what decision is this number asking me to make? So I'm going to give you some examples here so that you understand. If gross profit is weak, maybe the decision is to stop unnecessary discounting. Maybe it's to review your parts margin. Maybe it's to look at your pricing matrix. Maybe it's to review types of jobs you're taking in. It could be a number of things. So now it's like, let's narrow it down. If cash is tight, maybe the decision is to review collections. Maybe it is understanding expense timing. When are all your bills due? That can definitely affect that, right? Maybe it's time to stop assuming that busy means profitable. Just because your bays are full, just because you're booking appointments doesn't mean those jobs are profitable. Maybe it's time to talk with your bookkeeper or accountant before making another big purchase. Is that something that happens in your shop? And then you wonder why the cash is tight. So if labor sales are low, maybe the decision is to set daily billed hour target. Maybe it's to review the schedule each morning. Maybe it's to create a better process for stalled jobs. Maybe it's to help the service advisor understand how their activity affects the shop. Maybe it's to review parts margins. Maybe it's to look at your pricing mix, your matrix. And maybe it's to review the types of jobs you're accepting. So checking your price matrix and the mix of jobs that you have. What are we taking in? What are we accepting? Is there something that we shouldn't be doing or taking in? And the last one here is the decision should lead to a conversation. So a report doesn't change the shop by itself. A dashboard does not change the shop by itself. A number becomes useful when it leads to the right conversation. So we have to make sure that we're having that right conversations. We can't use the numbers as punishment to people. Well, this is down or that's down or this is where it should be and it's not. So I'm going to go over to so and so and I'm going to give them a talking to. That's not what numbers are supposed to be used for. If a number connects to the workflow, then bring in the person responsible for the workflow. If the number connects to estimates, bring in the service advisor. If the number connects to billed hours, bring in the foreman or the technician team. If the number connects to cash, bring in your bookkeeper, your accountant, or whoever helps you understand the money side of the business. The team does not need every single financial detail. You want to give them the information that they can control, that they have an effect on, that they influence. But the right people need to understand the activities that they influence. It's really, really important. A technician can't control what you sell a job for at the front counter, what a service writer is selling it for. But they can control the billable hours. So we have to make sure that we're telling the right people the right thing and they understand how everybody in the shop affects the customer experience, the profit. So a service advisor could influence estimate, presentation, discounts, approved work, communication, and average repair order. A technician can influence billed hours, productivity, efficiency, quality control, and comebacks. A manager or a foreman can influence workflow, scheduling, accountability, and flow through. So when you think about this, even when you're going through this with your team, when your team understands the connection between their activities and the healthy shop and the health of your shop, fewer decisions have to come back to you. That's how you gain control, by letting go. You're not dumping responsibility on people. You're connecting the right information to the right people. So I want to give you a exercise. It's a simple exercise that you can do this week. Choose one number that needs your attention in your shop, and then complete these statements. The number I need to look at is, this number is telling me blank, right? Whatever it is. The activity or process connected to it is, the decision I need to make is, the person who needs to be involved is, and the action that we will take this week is. That's how you move from information and you turn it into action. So this week, do not choose 5 numbers. This is your 1 week action item. Choose one and make the decision after you complete that form and have a conversation. And you take that one action. And then what you do is you review what changed. Did the number improve? Did the conversation create clarity? Did the team understand the expectation? Did the process get stronger? That's what we're looking for here. Growth, moving ahead. If the number does not change immediately, even if it doesn't change immediately, you're building the habit of leading from clarity instead of reacting from pressure. Because when you feel that pressure, reaction and reacting and how that comes out is not always good. It can be negative. So your numbers should not sit in a report waiting for the next meeting. They should really help you make a decision on what deserves your attention now. A report tells you what happened, but leadership decides what happens next and what you're going to do with that information. So this week, one number, one decision, one conversation, and one action. That's how you stop guessing and you start leading the next decision that you need to make. So if you found this valuable, please share it with another shop, another manager, another owner, and whoever you think that it would be able to help. I appreciate you being here, and whether you're live or you're on the replay, if you have any questions or comments, don't think twice about reaching out to me. I'd be happy to do that. And I do have a link for the download that I spoke of. So it's in the comment section, and it's in the QR code at the top. So if you're interested in that, feel free to get that. So thanks for being here. That's it for Auto Shop Success this week, and have an enjoyable week.